the only kind of life he's ever known. When every moment seems to be a race against the time, there's always one more mountain left to climb. Days are numbers, watch the stars. We can only see so far. Someday you'll know where you are. Days are numbers, count the stars. We can only go so far. One day you'll know where you are.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing to fear is fear itself. Franklin Delano Roosevelt felt this was true many years ago, but it sums up the situation we, the class, in 1987, face at this time. Just as he did not, neither can we allow this fear to hold us back. All of us are going out into the world where we will face many fears. Many of us are planning to enter the working world or the armed forces, where we may face unemployment, the fears of labor disputes, and war, to mention only a few. Many others of us are heading off to college in the fall. The word college itself symbolizes fear for many, as it presents an aspect of the unknown in much the same way as the name Edward Little did when we were leaving Walton. However, we are able to adapt and control these fears as we entered Edward Little. All of us developed characteristics that were essential in order to combat this fear. The way in which we battled the fear was by maturing into young adults. As our maturity levels increased, we were able to conquer the fears of homework, speeches, and athletic competitions. Many of us matured at faster rates and developed into leaders to help others to conquer their fears. By doing so, we have all helped each other to reach the next stage of our life. Now we must reach still another plateau and develop even more the necessary characteristics to conquer the fear of the many trials which will concern us as adults. We, the class of 1987, must develop these traits in order to provide a secure future for succeeding American generations. At this point, there are many events which are causing fear in our society, such as poverty, health and environmental issues, and space exploration, to cite only a few. We must not allow the fear of these situations to hold us back. We must channel the fear and change it from trepidation to an excited anticipation. We must step forth and light the way for others to follow in man's attempt to rid the world of present and future fears. We must not allow the inner effects of fear to hold us back from achieving our own goals or from inspiring others to achieve their goals. We, the class of 1987, have to dare to go for it. Ninth honor part, Jeff Hess.
Some you win, and some you lose, and some will bring you sorrow. Ever since each of us has been young, we have experienced winning and losing. Enough by now to be able to relate with the pride and elation of winning and the agony and frustration of losing. It is not the fact that we can identify with such feelings, but that we can learn to deal with these things in a better, more knowledgeable way each time such events arise. As this pertains to us in our coming lives, so does it pertain to the life and the future of our great country. The United States, like all of us, learned as a young nation the mixed emotions and consequences of winning and losing. It entered nationhood on a wave of winning and has continued this tradition throughout its existence. However, with time also came many losses as well, and the challenge to America to deal with such problems. Fortunately, with each death, through each war, and past each year, came the knowledge and the solutions to deal with these setbacks. Accordingly, the future always seemed bright, and our country always appeared on top. But as we look at recent years and the many new menacing problems which hang over our nation, new solutions and a bright future cannot be guaranteed. New problems and losses, such as the spread of AIDS, which is increasing every year, third world terrorism, which has affected our nation and people greatly, and nuclear technology, which threatens our existence, all present new challenges which now seem overwhelming to our nation. Also, the unforgettable destruction and death of the space shuttle and her crew, and the recent Iran-Contra scandal, have also threatened the pride and principles of our country, as well as exposing new and complicated weaknesses within the heart of our government. Events such as these, and others like it, present grave obstacles that must, like in the past, be solved and prevented to ensure a successful future and to continue our way of progression. We as a nation cannot become intimidated, but must fight and struggle with determination and belief to gain new and better knowledge which will enable our country to surpass and go beyond such problems. Our country must also reach out to other nations with a helping hand against their problems as well. Our future in the world must be in a direction of progression and improvement against the universal problems of all nations and not just our own. It is time to gain more pride in our nation and to regain the strength which has enabled us to remain on top. This direction and these goals all begin with the individual and the spirit of the people who make up our nation. As we go out into the world, it is each and every one of us who will make up that spirit and who are those individuals. Each of us and all of us must be a part of the further progression of our nation, for it is the common people who determine the fate and the success of our country. Therefore, each of us must go out and believe in that dream, establish that pride, and fight for the improvement of man's plight. We must all help set our country's new traditions, help preserve its old ones, and fight for its progression and improvement. So remember, as you do go into the future, you will win some and you will lose some. It is how you progress and learn to deal with such problems that will not only determine your fulfillment personally, but also the fate and progression of the United States as well. Final part, Connie Dowden.
Up to this point, the shadows in our lives have been cast by our parents and teachers. These shadows have been meant to guide and protect us.
Don't let your fantasies be blinded by the light. Dreams are a part of all of us, as they stem from our deepest thoughts and emotions. Some of our dreams may be on the brink of reality, an idea waiting to happen, waiting for us to make them happen. Whether big or small, every dream represents a challenge, a further step in the path of life. Sixth on part, Michelle Turcotte.
As we leave high school, we will find ourselves faced with more responsibilities. We will have to make our own decisions more and more often.
This time we're going to have our second soloist, and Candy Quigley is going to be singing Friends, and she's going to be accompanied by Miss Kathy Crawford.
Chapter in your life is through.
Sweetser, the president of the American Field Service, has a special presentation to make.
On behalf of the entire school, I would like to thank 4 special people who have shared an entire year of their life with us. I'd like to call up Murphy to Karen from Finland. Murphy, if you're here, would you please come forward? On behalf of the school and the American Field Service Club. Next, I would like to call up Nikolai Olson, also from Finland. Spent a year of their lives with us, and now they graduate with a class. And that's something that's really hard to do, to spend an entire year away from family, away from home, and to graduate in a foreign country. We've given them plaques, and I hope that we've given them all our warm wishes and thank yous. And also, we have another plaque. That was donated on behalf of the American Field Service, and it's a list starting from last year with all of the foreign exchange students who visited our school. Once again, thank you very much.
Titled On Our Own. Late at night, when all the stars are shining so bright, I often go out in the yard and I gaze into the light. And then I think, isn't it beautiful the way we've all got along? And through the years, think of the memories that we've made. They will always be in our hearts. But now we must go and live our lives on our own. Think of all the times that you've never been alone. Now we must go and live our lives on our own. Through the years we all have grown, and we've shared our thoughts with each other. We've had a laugh and shed a tear, but now it's all crystal clear that through the years we've made some memories with our friends that will always be in our minds. And through the years, isn't it beautiful the way we've all got along? And down the road, when we will one day meet again, we will relive our memories again. now I'd like to introduce the principal of Everett High School, Mr. Brady.
Taking part are performed as soloists for an excellent job. Very difficult to stand before your peers and families and do the job these young people did this evening. This is the class of 87's evening, and the program belongs to them truly, and this is an opportunity at this point for them to receive some awards which they have earned through their high school years. First award I'd like to present is the Hudson College Medal for Achievement in Business Education. And this is given to a member of the senior class selected by the business department. And these people have been selected for their work within the business department and for personal qualities they possess, which make them outstanding young people. The students' character, school citizenship, and attitude in industry within the business department is taken into consideration. And there are 2 awards from the Hudson College, and they go to Annette King and Kathy Donahue. There are also within the business department certificate programs which the youngsters can work towards in a 3-year program of studies. And the business certificate this year, we're awarding 2 in the clerical business area. And again, they go to Annette King and Yvonne Fickett. Decided I had taken it away from him. I really didn't. It's called bending over and finally wearing your glasses and still not being able to read. Perfect attendance is something we consider very special, whether a young person has had it for 1 year or a collection of 3 years during their years at Everett Little. The first group of people I'm going to call up have had perfect attendance for this present school year. And I must remind you that our computer, which is new, has kept this for us. But at this time, I would ask the following students who have achieved 1 year of perfect attendance to come forward, please. Diane Belanger, Tracy Bennett, Brenda Bowie, Terry Chacoin, Brian Craig, Lisa Davis, James Keene, and Tom Rump. Come forward, please. Those people who have attained, again, 3 years of perfect attendance in high school, we kind of draw a direct correlation between that perfect attendance and academic achievement, academic success. And I guess it would give me a great deal of pleasure to note that in presenting these this evening, Mona Cody, who was receiving a 3-year perfect attendance, also has missed just 1 day in her 13 years of school. Quite a record by itself. We would like to recognize these young people by giving them a special gift, and with the following students, please come forward. Scott Colbert, Anthony Corey, Lana Cody, Christine Goulding, Christine Hamill, Jane Libby, Patrick Penley, Scott Frey, Laura Skis, and Leanne Stone. Corporation is a non-profit corporation established to provide financial assistance for young people based on their performance and involvement with the PSAT test scores. There are 50,000 students recognized nationally. And of that 50,000, the first 35,000 fall into a commended category. Those students who have been commended from Everett Little are Matthew Davis, Jane Libby, and Clint Walker. The remaining 15,000 become semifinalists, and we have one semifinalist, Michael Zoran. 2000, our finalists, and we have our own in James Wellahan. The Maine Society of Women Engineers traditionally honor outstanding students who attained high academic achievements in the areas of math and science. This year there are 3 recipients in the class of '87, Robert Bilodeau, Christine Goulding, and Jane Libby. Each year at Everett Little, we have more than our share of awards presented by the Williston Regional Vocational Center, and I think that is a tribute to the hard work and serious attitude of the students who are attending that program. This year in the Sheet Metals program, we have 2 students being honored, Andy Moran and Tom Rum. In the Carpentry program, Steve Harris and Scott Prey. And we have 1 more student to be honored, but we have a special representative from Williston here this evening. May I introduce to you Steve Bergeron from Williston Regional Vocational Center to make our next award.
My outstanding automotive student. This student has kept an average of 95 through all 4 quarters. Brian Craig. Also each year, Lee Management, which is Subaru, Honda, Chrysler, Cadillac, an Oldsmobile, a Dodge, and it just goes on forever and ever. They also present to the outstanding senior a toolbox, and it's got roughly $500 worth of tools in it. If you want to look it off.
This time we also have 3 scholarships to be presented by 2 members of the class of '87, and I'd like to introduce Mr. Jake Julier from Andover College.
Each year, Andover College awards scholarship grants to career-oriented Maine high school seniors through its scholarship essay program. This program is extremely competitive. To qualify for one of these awards, the student must be organized, industrious, and highly motivated. This year's recipient from Everett Little High School possesses each of these traits to the highest degree and will be a welcome addition to Andover College this fall. It gives me great pleasure to present a 1987 Andover College Scholarship Award of $750 to Jay Smith.
Is being made by a person who is no stranger to you, Mr. James Miller.
Each year, the University of Maine at Farmington, having been a graduate of the University of Maine at Farmington, is honored for me to present this award, presents a Alumni Scholars Award. The Alumni Scholars Award is a brain thrust of Dr. Judith Sternick, who was the president of the University of Maine at Farmington. She challenged a bunch of groups in the university system to come up with some ideas to attract and to keep our high-level students at the University of Maine at Farmington. This year's recipient will display academic achievement, leadership, and character. There are 120 applicants. Out of those 120, 22 were interviewed. Out of those 22, 9 have been selected throughout the state and throughout those that have applied to the University of Maine at Farmington. The recipient of this award will receive $1,000 for each of the 4 years that they attend the University of Maine at Farmington, provided they maintain a 3.0 average. Great pleasure to present this award to Shelley Chapman.
Will be presented by Second Lieutenant Lynn Sprague.
Last year, about 13,000 young men and women began the application process for admission to the United States Military Academy at West Point. About 1,300 of those men and women will enter West Point in July
as members of the class of 1991. It is my great pleasure this evening to recognize my cousin, Jeff Libby, as a member of this class and present him with a certificate which states, "The Admissions Committee of the United States Military Academy takes great pleasure in announcing an offer of admission to Jeffrey Allen Libby, class of 1991.
Could you please give my cousin Lynn Sprague a round of applause also? She just graduated from West Point just this last month. Thank you.
Proud of the Everett High School Alumni Association, which is certainly one of the more active in the state. Traditionally, they have honored graduates with numerous scholarships, and in the last 3 or 4 years have begun recognizing those characteristics that any school feels important, such as school spirit, citizenship, and leadership. In 1985, they initiated the Everett High School Hall of Fame Award, which is presented annually to an individual who has made outstanding contributions to the school. This time, I'd like to ask Dr. John James to come forward, please. This award has been presented 3 years in a row. The first recipient was Lawrence Doc Hersom. Second last year was Linwood Zeke Dwelly. It's pleased us this year to add Dr. James to this list. He has demonstrated throughout his years as a physician here in the community concern for our young people. Until recently, were administering exams, physical exams to all freshman students, and he performed this yearly for actually very minimal compensation. Each year, he has administered hundreds of physical examinations to our athletes and has always been available for the youngster who may have been late, not being able to be at a physical with a schedule, could not afford to go out and get one of their own. Dr. James was always there for each of these young people. He served as football team's physician and now officially has been appointed the City of Auburn School Department's physician. It is the contribution, Dr. James, for your time, effort, and dedication to the health and well-being of the young people of Auburn that we would like to present you with this Hall of Fame award, and a special thank you for loving and caring about our young people as much as we do as parents. The Presidential Academic Fitness Awards are presented to a very select group of students, as you will see, and it consists of a certificate signed by President Reagan and Secretary of Education Bennett, as well as a lapel pin for the Presidential Academic Fitness Award. It is presented to seniors who have maintained a B+ average from the 9th, 10th, 11th, and first half of their 12th grade. So I say it's very special, and I think when you see the number of students who have attained this, you will see the significance of the top 10 and how close their academic achievement actually is. Second criteria is that they have received a score in the 11th and 12th grade, placing them at or above the 80th percentile on the PSAT tests, that they are in the top 10% of their class, and lastly, that they have completed at least 12 units of high school education in the areas of science, English, math, social studies, foreign language, and computer, to include not all, but a spattering of those areas. We are proud to present on behalf of President Reagan the following. Congratulations. The next group, Melissa Fournier, Betsy Gardner, Chris Goulding, Kyle Greeley, Jeff Hess, Deb Lamose, Jeff McConnell, Warren McLaughlin, Scott Moore, and Patrick Fenner. Now to include the line I left out, Beth Kennedy, Chris Kotsovas, Lisa Lalonde, Jane Liddy, Jeff Liddy, Peter Quadri, Linda Rosenbaum, Samuel Slimmer, Ira Calrico, Michelle Turco, Roy Erickson, Clint Walker, and Jim Wellahan. Along with these people who have met the criteria which I had given to you prior to the presentation, we are also permitted to give the number of awards appropriate for the extraordinary effort of young people who have gone above and beyond the call of duty, and people who have overcome physical handicaps or events in their life which have made their graduating from high school that much more special. And there are two young people that we would like to put in that category this evening. The first being Paula Nelson Barrowby. Paula? Extraordinary Effort Award goes to Eric Speaker. The House of Representatives and Senate have been kind enough to prepare a legislative degree by the joint houses to honor each of our top 10 young people, and these degrees I would like to present at this time. And if you would come up one at a time, please. Number 10, honor part, Jeff Libby.